So the Indian media is at it again. Their daydreaming has no end whatsoever, does it? Now they're going on about this Netflix series called Operation Sagar, which is apparently based on this operation that the Indian Air Force conducted during the Kargil debacle, during which the Indian Army was beaten black and blue anyway. But never mind, I won't go into that. That's a topic for another time. But as far as the series is concerned, first of all, what's laughable is that the operation was named Safed Sagar. Safed Sagar is Hindi for White Ocean. Now, what I'm confused about is that this operation was conducted up in the mountains. That is what they're going all ape over. That is what they're trying to say, that we conducted this highly technologically advanced operation in the mountains, which is again something very funny because that's what an Air Force is supposed to do anyway. But to call it White Ocean when the operation is being conducted in White Mountains, come on guys, make up your mind, But leaving that aside, I mean, I'll stop making a joke out of the Indian Air Force because that is pretty much what they are. But talking about facts, they conducted these operations in the mountains and they're patting themselves on the back and they can't stop, taking pride in it. Whereas what one wonders is that fine, you were conducting these operations. Any decent Air Force should be able to conduct these operations, not to mention the fact that the Pakistan Air Force was nowhere in sight. There was no enemy aircraft while they were conducting these operations. So to say that we did a wonderful job when there was no competition is laughable, to say the least. And not to mention the fact also that they lost aircraft during these operations. Can you imagine? They were hitting targets which were occupied by the Mujahideen, who were a poorly equipped force with light weapons, and despite that they managed to lose aircraft. I mean, fine, they had a few surface to air missiles, but to lose aircraft at the hands of ill-equipped and half-trained Mujahideen is just unbelievable. Any decent Air Force would actually try to hide this rather than go on and make a whole Netflix series over it as if they've conquered World War III, It's just unbelievable what the Indians, get up to. And not to mention the fact that they didn't just lose aircraft, they actually lost a pilot as well. And the pilot was captured by the Pakistanis and he was interrogated by them for about a week before he was returned to India. I wonder if the Indians have anything to say about that. They keep losing their pilots to Pakistan, don't they? They do that on regular basis. One every decade they lose a pilot to us. They might as well just send their Air Force here and we'll give them a cup of tea, which is what we do every time they come over. But it's laughable that they're taking great pride in this operation, which was conducted without any enemy aircraft. They lost their own aircraft, they lost a pilot, and also, let me make a point here, the Operation Vijay, apparently they called it, was launched on June 10th, 1999, or was it May 10th? May 10th, 1999, and it wasn't until the 26th of May that they were involved their Air Force. It took them 2 weeks to get their Air Force down to do the job. And you know why it took them 2 weeks? Because they were afraid that they did not want to expand that conflict into a wider conflict with Pakistan, which is why their aircraft were told explicitly not to cross the LOC. Let alone the aircraft crossing the LOC, they were told that even their missiles could not go beyond the LOC. This is how scared they were of Pakistan. They were scared out of their wits launching this operation. Took them 16 days to launch this operation. Were scared of flying across the LOC into Pakistan because they knew they would have their asses kicked if they went across the LOC, and they would lose not just aircraft, they would lose more pilots, which they managed to do anyway without crossing the LOC. It makes one wonder, how did their pilot end up on the other side of the LOC when their aircrafts were told not to go there? But in any case, that shows how incompetent the Indian Air Force is. So I think it's about time the Indian media realized that their armed forces, they have a good beating at the hands of the Pakistani armed forces every few years. They do not learn their lessons, and what the Indian media needs to learn is that making movies about it doesn't make their military any better. It's best that they go and talk to their guys in the military and tell them to get their act together before they start flaunting their achievements on Netflix, because it just makes them an even bigger laughing stock.